Namaste, Jai Hind, and welcome to yet another edition of Take 3. I'm Anand Narasimhan, with me Zaka Jacob and Rahul Shivshankar. And we are not talking geopolitics, we are talking cricket politics this time around. First up, Pakistan complains, India stays quiet. Now India beats Pakistan again, and then India goes and complains to the ICC. How do you see this happening, given as we are running up to the perhaps another India-Pakistan clash in the finals?
So if that happens, and obviously this show is being recorded before the final. If that happens, it'll be the third time India and Pakistan have played in the last 3 weeks. Look, I think India has a case. It has a perfect case because those gestures that the Pakistani players did, Farhan and Haris Rauf, it's obvious. It's a political display. It's a political symbolism, and the ICC's code of conduct is very, very clear. I think it's Rule 210 or 10.2, where you cannot show anything that is remotely, reminding anyone of any political cause. I go back to that, famous incident that happened with MS Dhoni, where I think after one of the major terror attacks, he wore a military camouflage on his wicket-keeping gloves, and he got hauled up for it. So I think it's come too late, frankly. I think I don't know why the BCCI sort of dithered over, officially making a complaint, because again, I'm told that, the ICC can only act if somebody complains. Somebody has to officially complain, only then can they act. So it's a good thing that the BCCI has complained. I mean, there is no place for, somebody coming and showing the signage of an AK-47, somebody showing a plane going down. Come on, I mean, you should be there to play cricket and play with all your heart. Will give, put your life on the line and go out to win. But all of this, extraneous gestures have to be called out, and I'm glad that India is doing it.
It's not even called out, viewers. I to a large extent did subscribe that we are part of a multilateral event, and of course we're looking at hosting the Olympics, and we have to play Pakistan on multilateral fora. But in this case, ICC, it's not even ICC event, it's an ACC event. And in one event, we've created 3 opportunities for India to play Pakistan. Now for me, it's max of opportunism. It's max of at the end of the day, it's all about money. It's not about patriotism. It's not about nationalism, because you refuse to shake hands, but you don't react. But you see what the Pakistanis are making it. They were not going to change. वो पूछ टेढ़ी की टेढ़ी ही रहेगी. They're not going to change. So then what kind of expectation are we showing? Every time we try and say, okay, let's be the larger person, let's be the more sporting nation, they cry on the one hand and look how they misbehave on the other, Rahul. So are we then allowing them to take us up the garden path again and leave us hanging, kind of thing,
You wrestle with a pig in a gutter.
Yeah.
And what do you expect? So unfortunately, that's really what the situation is. I mean, you've descended into the gutter now, and you've gone ahead and engaged them. I mean, as I've always been saying from day one, I didn't see the point of actually playing this tournament. We could have actually, it's not the biggest trophy. It's not something that we couldn't have won with our eyes shut. Okay. So I think we could have foregone it and made a huge hoopla about why we were foregoing this entire tournament. At least it would have brought some attention to the problem. Unfortunately, right now we're on the receiving end, and these gestures have been playing out in the full public glare with impunity. So, I mean, they've cocked a snook at us, and we've allowed it. Today, of course, there has been this one other of their ministers who has tweeted something that Ronaldo was doing the same kind of gesture in a very different context. So they are fingering you, and you've allowed yourself to be tickled. And now, you are sort of complaining and this, that, the other. Fortunately, Jay Shah is the head of the ICC. I don't know, he might sort of take punitive action against these 2 players.
No, but
maybe they won't be allowed.
Here's my thing, if they are going to exercise every ounce of their being Pakistani, and they're going to milk it to their advantage, and they're going to do it unabashedly, why shouldn't Bharat do it, Zaka? Why is it that the way they behaved with Andy Pycroft, the Pakistanis have not been skinned yet? They should have been. They should have been docked all of their match fees, and they should have been said that, all your officials are persona non grata onto the field. There is no tightening of the screws from ICC. So what rule book are you talking about? You violated, that was a brazen breach of trust, the video of PMOA. Why has the ICC not taken any action?
No, so see, look, as far as India is concerned and the Indian players are concerned, the best way to respond is through your performance on the field.
Yeah.
I mean, the response to Farhan showing the AK-47 or Harris Rauf showing the plane going down is what Abhishek Sharma did.
Yeah, that was a missile.
Yeah, you hate Shaheen Afridi, who's supposedly their fastest bowler since, God knows, Shoaib Akhtar, Wasim Akram and Waqar Yunis. Straight back, at over fine leg for 6, first ball of the innings. That's how you respond. That's how you play. I mean, if the Pakistani players want to, quote unquote, put India in its place, go out there, beat the Indian team. That's what you got to do. I mean, what is all this nonsense about AK-47 and plane going down? It's not your remit. I mean, Harris Rauf, again, celebrated bowler. I still remember, Virat Kohli at the great, MCG, hitting him straight back over his head. I mean, it's an unbelievable cricketing shot. That's how cricketers should respond. And that's how the Indian cricket team has been responding. The Pakistanis look, frankly, and I agree with Surya Kumar Yadav, I don't think this is a rivalry. In modern day cricket, India-Australia is a rivalry. Maybe India-England is a rivalry. India-Pakistan is not a rivalry. It's between a superior team and a subordinate team. And I would be happy to see if the Pakistan team actually, competes and changes.
Here is the thing, what happens is the Pakistanis are past masters at swinging the narrative whichever way it falls in their advantage. Now, they tried to do that with Operation Sindoor also. They had all of the international media eating out of their hands. They had these fuzzy dogfight kind of stories being pushed on the Telegraph and on the Guardian. The likes of CNN and BBC and all of them were pulling out stories as if, the Pakistanis have done such great heroics. Now, when the reality dawned a few hours later, who pulled up the truce flag if the Pakistanis were doing so well? It was the Pakistanis. Who had their air bases all scorched? It was the Pakistanis. Who got screwed at all ends? It was the Pakistanis. But the point is that they play with this entire narrative, and then what that does is it hurts.
Anand,
it hurts the soldiers. It hurts those people who fought hard. I think it's disservice to the cricketers also. They're going ahead and doing their job. At least stand up for them and screw them. Screw the opposition in such a way that they don't even have the temerity to bark like this. That's what I'm trying to say.
But I'm surprised at the wide-eyed response that these gestures are getting. Look, just about 2 or 3 years ago, they rolled out their mats and they did their prayers. And what did they say? They said, we have won a jihad against India. These were the words of Pakistani cricketers. What did we do? We didn't do anything. We didn't even raise a complaint. Yes, we won the match. We're very happy. Then there was a whole deluge of abuse that came our way after that match, as you know.
Yeah.
Okay, for being petty-minded, for being Islamophobic. The Indian general public reaction was called out by all sorts of vague handles. So again, they took this sort of victimhood and massaged themselves with it. The point is that you constantly go back. You're suckers for punishment. You constantly go back. And we constantly talk about dehyphenating. And the BCS is completely visually, optically, right now, hyphenated you. And I'm glad that, as he was saying, Sky came out and said what he said, because it is a fact. At no level, in any metric, whether it's finance, economics, democracy, politics, sheer brain power, patents, inventions, what have you, the Pakistanis are nowhere even within sniffing distance of India. But no, you want to constantly engage them, play. I mean, just to take this aside a little bit, Sonam Wangchuk shows up in Pakistan in February. Why? Who gave him a visa?
Yeah.
Why should he be? You know that businessmen right
trouble
now
he's causing.
have a problem. So I have a different, and you picked on this, greed, avarice, this, that, the other. Look, there are a large number of businesses that have been hit because of trade embargo. These were on both sides of the LOC and the IB.
Right.
We're talking about the Atari Wagah border being shut. These businesses have floundered. Some of them perhaps have made losses, etc. What were they trading in? Hosiery, this, that, the other. Vegetables were going across, dry fruit, this, that. Small businesses, but they've spluttered. But the big business of cricket, the biggest incorporated, private limited company, BCCI, is milking this equation. They are the only ones who are trading. Is the BCCI some East India company? That they should have all sorts of monopoly over this. And everyone else whose businesses are shut down, poor things, are wondering what is going on.
You know what most of those businesses said, it's all right, we'll manage and we'll look at other markets, we'll sell to Afghanistan, we will sell locally, we'll sell this one, it's all right. For our country, we are ready to do that. Look at how, everybody went after Diljit Dosanjh.
Yeah.
He had said that at that time too, and he said that in February Bharat played Pakistan. At the same time, I shot in the UK. Then after that, Sindoor happened, but just around the time of the release, I was panned, I was called anti-national. I was said when, Sikhs and, we never go against the country. We stand up for the country at all time. We are patriots altogether. But you've called us all sorts of names. And now the BCCI is playing not one, not two, but possibly three matches.
Yeah.
With Pakistan, and you're trying to justify it as part of the Olympic movement. What nonsense is this?
I mean, look.
There is an argument there saying that you can't say everything else is not right, but cricket is kosher.
I think the government of India needs to take a definitive stand on this. It can't be this whole we won't play them in we won't play them in bilateral, but we'll play them in multilateral. It's not washing. The public are seeing through it. I mean, the first match, I was told, was the lowest in terms of viewership and numbers for any India-Pakistan game that we've seen in recent times. The first match.
Yeah, the second one.
The second one picked up because obviously the temperatures went up, and I suspect the final will break records and all of that. But I think, at some level, the government also needs to realize you can't be tone deaf. I mean, the sentiment on the street is we shouldn't be playing Pakistan.
You know what? See, at that time, I had spoken to the sports minister, Mansukh Mandaviya, and Mansukh Mandaviya was very clear. He said, Anand bhai, एक बात बताओ, खेलना तो है, नहीं खेलेंगे तो वो एशिया कप चैंपियन बन जाएंगे. मैं उसको क्यों बनने दूँ? मेरे प्लेयर्स, आवर प्लेयर्स विल ऑल्सो फील, सर हम खेल के हम जीतेंगे, उनको हराएंगे, वहाँ पर भी हराएंगे. We will defeat. So that's the sentiment of the player. The player wants to play, prove their point.
No, the players don't want to play. You ask them privately, the players don't want to play. In fact, I think at the press conference, Surya was asked this and he said, boss, our job is to play. The BCCI tells us who to play and where to play, we play. I mean, it's not our call who to play and where to play.
He's not openly said, I want to play. Yeah. But his point is, like in Asia Cup hockey. So he said, had India pulled out of Asia Cup hockey, because Pakistan was participating, we wouldn't be Asia Cup champions, hockey champions. So why should we give out and give them a chance to become champions because we are not there? So that was a counterpoint. And then he said, okay, we are bidding for the Olympics. We can't be seen as a host nation which is going to bar. It works there.
There are things in any country, in any nation, which are bigger than sport. And I think public sentiment, if you don't pay heed to it, I think the government's doing it at its own.
Against Sky said Texas.
Anand, where is the next in? Texas, right?
And after that...
so, tell me something. The last Olympics, did Russia play under its own flag? No, no. Their athletes had to come in through some backdoor arrangement.
Yeah.
Not even wearing their own colors. Their anthems were never
That's
sung
how the US
on the podium.
Yeah.
So the US can decide who it wants under what flag to play when and where.
Yeah.
But India has to bid for the Olympics. So it has to show that it is magnanimous enough to allow Pakistan in. What does it tell you? It tells you that hypocrisy bhi koi seema hoti hai, sir. This is what it tells.
Or I'll go back to, 1980, the Americans boycotted the Moscow game. And similarly, Russia boycotted the Los Angeles game.
But I'm just saying, forget about just cricket. We are so obsessed about cricket. What happened on the football field? On that very day, some young sprats came from Pakistan and in a losing cause, they score a goal and they start doing this. You know what that is? Who they were invoking?
Yeah.
Chai. You know what Chai stands for?
Abhinandan.
There you go. I mean, this is the level. They are a completely weaponized society. Islam sits here in their head. Someone rightly said the 3 A's. In fact, all the 3 A's are back, by the way. Okay? America is also back with Pakistan. They are actually making merry. As we speak, that Sharif is going to be meeting Trump.
Yeah.
What do you think they're going to talk about? I mean, come on.
See, I understand all of these aspects are happening around us, but, to a certain extent, and I'll be honest, that I thought, okay, there is a point. Let's try and back this and say, all right, we need to do certain things at a larger reason because there's a greater game at play. But then you realize it's not one match, bro. You've planned it for the Super Force. You planned a group that you ensure that India and Pakistan will be the only one going through. You planned another match at the Super Four, and you've planned the Super Fours also somewhere in a way that eventually it is, in all likelihood, an India-Pakistan final, unless a Bangladesh beats a Pakistan. So then you see the whole thing and you see through it saying that, oh, you're just helping everybody make money. And why are you helping the PCB make money when you're supposed to bleed it dry? That nation does not care. That nation has not said, I'm sorry, I behave like this.
Bilateral trade, it's going on between BCCI and BCB, and they're both laughing.
No, and the PCB stepped out of the boycott because they stood to lose 15 million, 16 million dollars. So you saw that, then like you said, when we are trying to, the Prime Minister, the government, and at geopolitical level, we are so strongly trying to de-hyphenate ourselves from Pakistan. At cricket, you're allowing us to be hyphenated with Pakistan, saying that, we are also as greedy for money as they are.
See, Anand, look, I'm talking about the optics, right? From purely, you see, an India-Pakistan cricket encounter is guaranteed to obviously attract eyeballs. That's why you have these, 3 or 4 matches that have been scheduled, because you know the potential. So when you know that the gaze of both nations is going to be so focused, what is the signal that is coming out? That it's okay for these two people to play. Why don't you just ask them to also send their actors? You also then send your traders. Let's
behave like it's a normal relationship. No, have high commissioners, go back to
let them continue to bomb, let them continue to kill, let them continue to be bigoted, but we will continue to do money. Kafir pasand nahi hai, kafir ka paisa pasand hai, aao paisa kama ke loot ke leke jao.
The leaders should lead also. Why not? Why are we stopping bilateral meetings?
That should have that also. Handshakes. What is this business of not having?
Something I say this. I'm sorry.
I see the point that Shashi Tharoor is making at one level, where he says, look, if you're playing, you may as well shake hands.
Exactly.
Right?
Otherwise, don't play.
At least don't give them the moral advantage of calling you out for being bad sportsmen.
Oh, the bad sport. And see,
and suggesting that your players are churlish.
No, they didn't shake hands and they are bad sportsmen, but look at what the cricketers did. Look at what Haris Rauf and
Isn't that unsportsmanlike?
Yeah. Isn't that demeaning and unsportsmanlike? And did the PCB even censure them? They said, wow, kya players.
So what they'll say is that, you see, equal one all.
See, the problem is this, that we are, as he said a while ago, we are hyphenating ourselves. We are giving a reason to be hyphenated. We should not be hyphenated
I'll
with this.
tell you this, Zaka, and I've heard it from the person's mouth, and the other one is an anecdotal thing which is also chronicled. At multiple times in life, over the last 2-3 decades, a very famous artist, a very famous cricketer, a very famous actor, and another very famous personality from Pakistan, they've all said the same thing about coming to India and working in India, saying, kufr pasand nahi hai, par kufr ka paisa pasand hai. So the idea is, we don't like the infidels, but they have a lot of money and we need the money. So for that, you have to do. And one or two of them, I have heard them say this. So if that's how brazen they are, you travel to Pakistan, any person traveling from India, their cutlery, their food, their glasses are thrown away. They're not reused. And especially if you're Hindu. That's how they treat you. They will not share from the same place that you are eating. They will not. That's how bigoted they are, and that's what they think of us Indians. They're engaging and they are not being asked to engage at that level.
Here I little disagree with you. I don't believe in this distinction कि वहाँ पर बड़े भले लोग भी हैं. So, no, ये मैं नहीं मानता हूँ, because look, I just want to make a small example.
Correct.
Look, here we are. There are Indians, rational Indians, intelligent Indians, eminent Indians who are writing articles to say, Team India, let's not be churlish, let's shake hands. Right?
Yeah.
Are you seeing their eminent Pakistanis, their rational Pakistanis, their movie stars, their celebs, anyone of influence saying, Rauf and that Johnny, please don't do this?
It's not nice. Because the ISP, because the ISR and the CSP,
because the most eminent cricketer is in jail. That's why.
They're most eminent.
There is no Pakistani diaspora.
That most eminent cricketer himself. He's been a royal guest of this network in the past. He would also sit with his feet up when the people would come in, because he would say, that's what I think of you people. So that, you know,
Cambridge educated.
I'm saying, but, you know,
He's English, right?
no, but the same, but the same, polished American or British, and, you know, married a British wife, had a lady and had a British wife and all that is okay. But he would always look down upon the people, saying that you are beneath me. And from his house, he would point कि कश्मीर उधर है, एक दिन मैं वहाँ रहूँगा. On top of Islamabad,
He's right now living in Ariala jail.
30-acre house. He's done that. This is my lawn and this is my backyard and that's Kashmir and we'll be there one day. And he has the brazenness to say this even when he was not a prime minister. Yeah. He was a political aspirant at that time. So I'm just putting out a lot of things.
So at one time he was also a cricketer. No, he was not always a politician. No, but so even as a cricketer he held the views. Yeah. So then that's
even as a cricketer on the field, that was what he that was what
one poor fellow, Danish.
Yeah,
Kaneria. He's the only one who speaks. Do you think he's not scared of the ISPR?
No. See, Danish Kaneria also draws the line. He is not pro-India. He's a Hindu and he's against the way Hindus are being treated in Pakistan.
No, but here he came out and said that yes, a bamwala gesture and all that is very bad. This is not.
He's saying this now. Like it was the same guy. It was the same guy. No, it was the same guy. Look at the contrast. It was the same guy who was not given a chance inside the team and not allowed to continue because he would not read namaz and he would not recite the kalma. Okay. The other side. Look at the guy who was a Christian who converted so that he could become. Yusuf Yohana becomes Muhammad Yusuf so that he could become captain because he was told unless you're a Muslim you can't be captain. So he converts and today he's become so rabid and radical. So look what he said.
He was talking about this great cosmopolitan, Oxford, Cambridge, whatever, educated. When he married a Jewish heiress, Miss Goldsmith.
Yeah.
He changed her name.
Yeah.
So this is at civil society level, my dear.
No, but we should still play, and maybe an India-Pakistan is going to happen in the finals. We don't know. But I'll tell you what, so far, I'll be honest with our viewers, I'll be candid. Thought, okay, let them play because there's a larger game at play, in the sense a larger goal at play for us as a country. But as we dissect it and as we see it, no, this was not required at all. This is not required at all, and if Bharat needs to host the Olympics, we can host the Olympics without playing Pakistan. And if they don't want to come, they don't want to come.
Fact,
and if that is the case, and if that's the condition for us to get the Olympics, I don't know, somewhere I don't want the Olympics. Yeah. I don't know. I'm not sure. But today I just feel that this is a lost cause with a nation which deserves to be ramroded and ignored and just junked onto the corner and not engaged with at all at any platform. Most importantly, cricket, because this is the way they try and claw back into equations. You know, there is like you guys are saying, this whole hyphenation has happened after so many years of effort at de-hyphenation. Cricket allows them to hyphenate with us.
It does.
We should not allow that.
We should not give them the opportunity.
I think that's a bigger goal. That's a far bigger goal, and let them suffer because they will not make money till the time they play with India. Even on a multilateral fora, they will make money only when they take money. Does that mean the BCC has to take a hit and pass back some of the revenues or the rate cuts?
The richest cricket body in the world.
No, rate cuts to the broadcaster. The broadcaster has so much invested. Okay, reduce that money and show that level of patriotism. I don't want this money. Keep this
you know what?
Back,
Give that money to the military, the army, what you are earning. I mean, I'm still okay with that also. At least, even if you played and you earned all this money, don't keep it.
No, that they may do.
We are going to set up a corporate fund to start 125 army schools or give the money to the army or to the government for defense.
They may also do. They may even do now.
They should, no.
They know.
The families of the victims.
Yeah. Why aren't they doing it?
They may do it. If India wins the Asia Cup, they may just say we dedicate $1 million.
Why haven't they already announced it?
Correct. As fighters, they cannot jump the gun because they have to first win before they do.
Sir, has there been a culture of this? Never.
There has never been.
You go to any American tournament, right? The NL and what is it? That national, NFL and all this. You sit there. The first thing they kick off their little match with is a dedication to a veteran.
I wish the team all the best that if they have to play, they have to do their job. Yeah. And I hope they are soldiers for us on the battlefield in terms of the cricket field, and they do.
Solace is if Sky and his team just badger the Pakistanis on the field. Beat them by 100 runs.
That's take 3 for you, viewers. Hope you enjoyed watching this. Thank you, Zaka. Thank you, Rahul.